the United Nations agreed 8 Millennium Development Goals in 2000. Expectations were high that real, significant, substantial change was about to happen. That at long last issues like grinding poverty and gross inequalities were to be tackled. Then, 10 years later, the United Nations expressed deep concern at the lack of progress in these areas, particularly in sub-Sahara Africa, Malawi included.
The current 8 goals is very critical in Africa. We can bring in very good, document, which is very clear, straightforward in terms of what is that we want to achieve, how are we going to achieve it, how are we going to monitor it. But if we don't put the resources on the other side of the table, still we'll come back after even 100 years, there will be nothing.
There's lots of places on Earth that simply aren't important in terms of power. And therefore, because they're not important, there's lots of places that are excluded. And so that means that there are also a lot of people excluded, hundreds of millions. And therefore, the Millennium Development Goals are one way that the United Nations has put those places and those people back on the table to say, this is how to reduce poverty, and that's going to be our goal.
You've come to one of the poorest countries in the world. When you come to a country like Malawi and you see the level of poverty that exists here, it's at a completely different level to anything that we can, countenance or understand.
Our visit to Malawi began with a 2-hour bus ride on a cratered road from the capital, Lilongwe. Here we met with some of the poorest people in this poorest of poor countries. Life expectancy at 54 years of age is one of the lowest in the world, 25 years lower than the EU average. Under siege from the HIV/AIDS pandemic, chronic food shortages, inadequate health services, and the whole-scale disruption from premature and preventable death, life here is lived on the edge.
Ineyo nane chingowe singazidziwe ndithu kuti nkuzidziwe zanga ayibodza vana vanga nalivo 7 ava 5 ali mati adakhala iliwoka sono vanthei wati nalino anawo hayi nikakhala ndithu mwamtendere koma mtendere wathawana ndewanisoyera mtendere zina nelesoni limbikano omayo nawa matenda ako damulena odajire chibayo chidalase chibayo anye mulubire no